picture a three-legged stool, right? It's sturdy, it's balanced, it supports weight easily. Now imagine someone comes along and just saws off one leg.
Stool falls over.
Exactly. The stool falls over. That's bad enough. But what if someone took that saw, chopped up all three legs, and then tried to glue them back together into a completely different shape while setting the whole thing on fire?
That is wow, that is a very specific and chaotic image. But honestly, if this is the situation we're looking at today, perfectly.
Yeah, I thought so. So today we are doing a deep dive into an absolute social disaster. We found this text. It's a plea for advice, really, from a guy caught in what I can only describe as a love square.
Yeah, but definitely not the fun rom-com kind of square.
No, not at all. It's a tragedy involving three best friends, one tight circle, and a single romantic interest who has effectively nuked the entire group from orbit.
It is a really fascinating, if, deeply painful look at group dynamics.
Our mission today is to essentially perform an autopsy on this fractured friendship group. We're going to unpack the dynamics of dating within a tight circle, get into this concept of revenge dating, and try to answer the narrator's burning question, which is, quote, is this a red flag?
Right, and spoiler alert,
Yeah.
asking if this is a red flag feels a bit like asking if the Titanic hitting an iceberg was a minor navigation error.
Right. I mean, my initial reaction was just pure shock at the layers here.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a situation where this girl dated friend number 1, then friend number 2, and now is currently dating friend number 3, who is our narrator.
It sounds insane on the surface, but as a case study, it is a perfect storm of psychology. We're going to be looking at things like mimetic desire, triangulation, the sunk cost fallacy, all playing out in real time. This isn't just about romance.
Right, it's about power.
Power, competition, and how incredibly fragile a male friendship group can actually be when you introduce a competitive element into the mix.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Before the fire, the golden era. The narrator opens with this really simple, kind of sad sentence. He says, quote, "We three friends once hang out together, happy together," end quote.
That establishes our baseline perfectly. In sociology, a triad, a group of three, is actually often considered one of the most stable social structures you can have.
Really? More than 2?
Yeah, it's stronger than a dyad, a pair, because if two people disagree, the third person is there to mediate. It creates this closed loop of support.
Okay, that makes sense, like a Three Musketeers kind of vibe. You have your inside jokes, your shared history. It feels impenetrable to the outside world.
Exactly. But that stability relies heavily on a shared code of conduct. Usually there's an implicit understanding that the group comes first.
Yeah.
The whole bros before, well, you know the cliche.
Yeah, the bro code.
Right. It exists for a reason. It's meant to protect the group from external threats that could divide their loyalty.
And then the threat enters. The narrator's text literally says, quote, "because of one girl." Just one. And here is the timeline, because this is where the dominoes just start falling. First, friend A dates the girl.
Okay.
Then they break up.
Yeah.
Standard stuff, right?
Yes.
I mean, people date. It doesn't work out.
In a normal, healthy dynamic, yes. The couple splits up, the friend group rallies around friend A to support him, and the girl usually exits their immediate social sphere, at least for a while, so boundaries can be reestablished.
Right, but that is not what happened here. The text goes on to say, quote, "and other friends dated that girl and broke up." So friend B steps up to the plate. Now, I have to pause here because you're the expert on behavior here.
Yeah.
How does friend B justify that? Friend A is his best friend.
It's a huge
He
violation.
just broke up with this girl. How do you look at your best friend's ex and say, yeah, I'm next?
Well, this is where we really have to talk about that concept I mentioned earlier, mimetic desire.
Okay, break that down for me.
It's a concept developed by the philosopher René Girard. The basic idea is that human beings don't always desire things spontaneously on our own. We desire things because other people desire them.
Oh. So it's not just, wow, I really like her personality. It's more like, my friend, whose taste I respect, liked her, so she must be highly valuable.
Precisely. Friend A's initial desire validates her value to the rest of the group. When they break up, she doesn't just become an ex, she becomes a validated object of desire within that specific circle.
Wow.
Friend B might not have even noticed her initially, but because she was friend A's girlfriend, she becomes a prize. It turns the friendship into a covert competition.
Man, that is messy. So friend B dates her, and
Yeah.
inevitably that causes massive friction. You can't tell me friend A was just sitting there cool with that.
It's impossible. Even if friend A played it cool and said he was fine, the structural integrity of the group is completely compromised at that point, because now you have a direct comparison happening.
Like, who was better? Who did she like more?
Exactly. The trust dissolves instantly because friend B has effectively chosen this new girl over the comfort and loyalty of friend A.
And this is the kicker, friend B breaks up with her too.
Yeah.
So now you have two casualties in the group. The narrator says, quote, now everyone becomes enemy. So the group is dead. The boys aren't talking. The stool's been chopped up.
And this is the crucial context for our narrator, friend C. He is literally standing in the smoking wreckage of this friendship. He sees firsthand that this relationship destroyed his two best friends, and
He
yet
decides to date her anyway.
he dates her anyway.
See, this is the part I struggle with the most. The third domino. Why? I mean, is he just lonely? Is he arrogant? Does he think, well, those guys were losers, but I'm the special one. I can fix her.
It's highly likely a mix of what we call main character syndrome and pure competitive instinct.
Main character syndrome. I like that.
Right. If he dates her and he succeeds where friend A and friend B failed, he effectively wins the group. Even though the group is dead, he becomes the alpha of the defunct pack. It's a massive ego gamble.
But he's not winning. And this is where the text gets really dark. He's currently dating her, but if you listen to how he describes it, he doesn't sound like a guy in love. He sounds like a guy in a hostage video.
He sounds paranoid, and honestly, for very good reason.
Let's break down his motivation analysis. He analyzes why she is with him and says, quote, she dated me because she wanted to show my friends that she had boyfriend now, end quote. I mean, excuse the slightly broken grammar there, but the point is crystal clear. She wants to show his friends, her exes, that she's taken.
This is the reddest of the red flags we've seen so far. He is actively identifying that he is a prop. In psychology, this is a severe form of triangulation.
Triangulation, like bringing a third person into a conflict.
Usually, triangulation involves bringing a third person in to create jealousy or shift blame. But this is systemic triangulation. She isn't just making one guy jealous. She is using the highly specific dynamics of a shattered friend group to maximize the emotional damage to everyone involved.
Because he goes on to say she wants to, quote, prove that she can.
That phrase is chilling.
It really is.
Prove that she can. It implies that acquiring this third friend was nothing more than a challenge or a game to her. It totally dehumanizes the narrator. He's not a partner in a relationship. He's a trophy, a merit badge.
Like she collected the whole set.
Exactly.
And then we hit this really confusing sentence in the source. I want us to really dig into this because I think it's the absolute key to the whole toxic mess. The narrator says, quote, because my friends like cheating from this girl.
Right. My friends like cheating from this girl.
Now, English clearly isn't the narrator's first language, so we have to do some detective work here. What does that actually mean?
When I read that, I saw three distinct possibilities, and I'll warn you, none of them are good.
Okay, lay them out for me. Theory number one.
Theory one is that the friends cheated on her. Maybe friend A and friend B were unfaithful during their respective relationships with her. If that's the case, she might be operating out of a place of pure revenge dating.
Okay, so she's hurt, she's angry, and she has decided the absolute best way to hurt them back is to systematically dismantle their support system.
Exactly.
That makes her like the Count of Monte Cristo in this scenario. She's the victim seeking elaborate justice over years. But does that justify using friend C?
Absolutely not. Even if she was genuinely wronged, using another human being as a weapon against your enemies is deeply unethical. It still makes our narrator a pawn in her game.
Okay, fair point. What is theory number two?
Well, the phrasing cheating from this girl is odd. It could mean cheating with, as in maybe there was overlap between the guys.
Oh, like friend B started seeing her before friend A was fully out of the picture.
Right. Maybe the timeline is significantly messier than we think. Maybe the group originally broke up because of infidelity involving her.
Which would totally explain why, as he said, everyone becomes enemies so incredibly quickly. If she was the literal wedge that drove them apart through cheating, then friend C dating her now is basically dancing on the grave of the friendship.
Exactly. It's the ultimate betrayal. And then there is theory number three, which, honestly, might be the most manipulative option of all.
I'm bracing myself.
What if she is lying?
Lying.
What if she is telling the narrator, your friends were cheaters, they were so bad to me, specifically to isolate him?
Oh, wow. So she's gaslighting him into thinking his best friends are the villains, just so he doesn't feel guilty about dating their ex.
It's a classic isolation tactic used in toxic relationships. If she paints A and B as these terrible cheaters or bad guys, then friend C feels totally justified in cutting them off and taking her side. It creates this intense us against the world mentality.
Man, that is dark. But you know what? It perfectly aligns with the narrator's gut feeling. Because later he says, quote, I feel like I'm just a gateway.
Let's talk about that specific word, gateway.
Well, he might mean getaway,
Mhm.
right? Like she's using him as a getaway car or a rebound. Or does he literally mean a gate?
You know, even if it's a mistranslation, I think gateway is actually profoundly accurate. A gateway to what? A gateway to the attention of his friends.
Right.
He feels like the physical bridge she is walking across just to get a reaction from friend A and friend B.
That is such an incredibly lonely position to be in. Think about it. You're in a relationship. You're supposed to be the center of that person's world. But you slowly realize their eyes are fixed on the exit, looking for an audience.
It's the very definition of objectification. He isn't being loved for who he is. He is being used for who he knows. And the real tragedy is he knows it. He feels it viscerally. That's exactly why he's writing in for advice.
So let's get to his question. Let's answer it. He asks, quote, is he red flag and stop right now? Obviously meaning, is she a red flag?
I want to challenge the question slightly. It's not just a red flag, it's a blaring siren. But I also want to ask something else. Is the narrator innocent here?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, he's the one currently being used and manipulated, right?
He is being used, yes, absolutely. But he also willingly violated the social contract of his group. He saw his friends get hurt, he saw the group dissolve into enemies, and he walked over the bodies of those friendships to date this woman.
So you're saying he's suffering from the sunk cost fallacy now?
Yeah.
Well, he paid such a astronomically high price as his two best friends that he desperately needs this relationship to work to justify it.
Exactly. If he breaks up with her now, what does he have? Nothing. No girlfriend, no friends. He already admitted that everyone is an enemy.
Wow.
If he stays with her, he at least justifies the massive sacrifice. He can tell himself, well, I lost my friends, but I found true love. If he admits she's just using him as a prop, he has to face the harsh reality that he betrayed his brothers for absolutely nothing.
That is a brutal realization. It's the doubling down effect in real life. But he's asking us for, quote, one word, please, what to do.
If we have to give him one single word, leave.
Just leave. Not sit down and talk it out with her.
There is nothing to talk out. The very foundation of the relationship is rotten. If her primary motivation, which he himself identified, is to show his friend she has a boyfriend, then the relationship isn't a relationship. It's a performance.
And a performance requires an audience.
Exactly. If the friends are already enemies and they eventually stop paying attention, does she still need the narrator?
Probably not. The minute they stop caring and stop looking, he loses his utility to her.
Exactly. And for his own basic self-respect, he needs to exit the stage. You cannot build a home on a foundation of spite and revenge. It will inevitably collapse.
But wait, let me play devil's advocate for just a second here. What if, we're reading this wrong,
Uh-huh.
what if she genuinely fell for all three of them?
Okay.
I mean, maybe they are all really similar guys. They were best friends after all, so they probably have similar interests and personalities. Maybe she just has a type, and that type happens to literally be this specific friend group.
I mean, it's possible we do tend to attract similar people. But look at the evidence provided by the narrator himself. He quotes her intentions. He says, she wants to show my friends. He doesn't say, she tells me she loves me every day.
Right.
He says she wants to show off. Even if she likes him a little bit, the primary driver appears to be that external validation from the exes.
Yeah, you really can't ignore his direct quote there. When someone's actions tell you their motivation is to stick it to their exes, you should probably believe them.
And we also have to consider the trauma bond aspect of this whole mess.
So.
These relationships that start in high conflict, high drama situations, like dating your enemy's ex, can feel very, very intense. That us against them vibe releases a massive amount of dopamine. It feels like passion.
But it's not stability.
No, it's chaos masquerading as passion.
So if he takes your one word of advice, if he leaves, does he get his friends back?
That's the most heartbreaking part of this whole deep dive. Probably not.
Oh, yeah.
The scorching of the earth was pretty thorough here. Once you've crossed that line and dated the person who destroyed the group, it's incredibly hard to ever go back to being happy together.
But staying makes it worse.
Staying confirms he is okay with being a pawn. Leaving at least reclaims his dignity. And maybe, just maybe, with enough time and distance, the three guys can realize they were all played against each other. But repairing that takes years.
It's a tragedy, truly. It really is a Shakespearean tragedy playing out in the modern dating world. You have the tragic flaw, the jealousy, the mimetic desire, and the inevitable catastrophic downfall of everyone involved.
And the lesson here for anyone listening isn't just a simple don't date your friend's ex. It's much deeper than that. It's about recognizing when you are being triangulated in your own life.
Right, because if you feel like your partner talks more about their exes than they talk to you, or if every date feels like a carefully curated photo op intended for a specific audience of ghost followers, you really need to pay attention to that.
We live in a very performative culture right now. Social media really exacerbates this. We often treat our relationships as content rather than actual connection. This story we analyze today is just an extreme, offline version of that exact same impulse. Look at me, I'm winning. Are you watching?
Are you watching? That really is the key question. Because if the answer to why are we doing this is so they can see us, you're not in a relationship. You're in a play.
And you're the only one who didn't get the script.
Oof. That hits hard. The only one who didn't get the script. The narrator thinks he's the romantic lead, but he's actually just the understudy being shoved onto the stage to annoy the director.
It's a harsh reality check. But the narrator asked for it. He feels it in his gut. He just needed someone to confirm that his instinct, that feeling of, I'm a gateway, is completely correct.
So to summarize the autopsy of this friendship group today, we started with a stable triad. We had an interloper who introduced mimetic desire, friend B wanting what friend A had. We saw a total breakdown of loyalty in the bro code. And now we have the narrator, friend C, acting as nothing more than a vessel for this girl's ego or her revenge plot.
A perfect summary of a truly perfect disaster.
And the final verdict for the narrator is stop, right now. Get off the merry-go-round before you throw up.
Succinct. I like it.
Well, this has been a heavy one. But I think it's a really important discussion about the immense value of your platonic history versus the dangerous volatility of a reactive romance.
Absolutely. Good friends are genuinely hard to find. It's a profound shame to lose them to a game you didn't even know you were playing.
So true. Here is a final thought to leave you with today. We talked a lot about the narrator being an audience or a prop for someone else's drama, but I want you to ask yourself this. In your own relationships, are you the protagonist? Or are you just a supporting character in someone else's unresolved backstory?
That is definitely the question to sleep on.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.